Alright, so we're going to do a problem.
Yay.
Whoops. I'm sorry. Your neighbors have it.
Knock on your neighbor's door.
Yes, knock on your neighbor's door.
Yes.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start off with something that I know you'll know the answer before we get started. Now keep in mind, I know this is going to be long, and you're going to say, we did all that just to get this. I'm telling you in advance. It's going to be like that. Okay? You ready?
No.
Okay, I'm going to start anyway. This is going to be the function that I start with. Now, the derivative represents the slope generator of what line? The derivative is going to be a slope generator for what line? Which line?
Tangent line.
Tangent line. The derivative is a slope generator for the tangent line. I can look at this function and tell the slope. What is the slope?
3. 3 over 1.
3 over 1, or 3, right?
Yes. That's what I said a long time ago.
Okay, I didn't hear you, Jesus. You got to speak up. Okay, that has no bearing on the slope of the tangent line, but I'm sorry to hear that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. This is so important. Stay with me. Stay focused. Okay. I already know the answer. The answer is 3. However, if I ask for the derivative, remember the derivative is representing my slope generator for the tangent line. I want to do this by definition. That means I got to start off this way. The limit as h approaches 0. The first thing I want to do is figure out what is this. I have a function f of x. If I want to know f of x plus h, that means all of the x's in my function will get replaced with what?
X plus h.
X plus h, the quantity x plus h. Are you with me?
Yes.
So that means I have 3, but this x is going to be replaced by what?
X plus h.
So it goes in parentheses, give it some love, and I'm writing a 3 instead of an x plus h. Then what?
Minus 4.
Minus 4. Does everybody see that part?
Yes.
That is the f of x plus h. That's what this is, right? Anyone not with me? Okay. So according to my definition of the derivative, the first part that I need to write is whatever I got for f of x plus h. And what was that we got?
3 over parentheses x plus h over parentheses minus 4.
All right. That's the first part. Then what do I do?
Minus x.
Minus f of x. Do I know what f of x is?
-4.
F of x?
F of x is 3x minus 4.
It's 3x minus 4. Since it's an entire expression, I need to use parentheses because I'm subtracting that entire expression.
Oh.
And it's all over what?
H.
H. Now, if you try direct substitution here, since you're finding that limit and plug a 0 in, you're going to get 0 over 0. We need more work. We got to investigate it further. Okay? Because if you put a 0 here, you're going to get the 3x minus 4 minus 3x plus 4. They'll all go away 0 over 0. So what we need to do is start cleaning it up. All right. Come on, Angelica, help me out so you can stop giggling. Distribute. What do I get?
3x plus 3h minus 4 plus negative 3x plus 4.
All over what?
H.
Is there anything we can get rid of?
The
The
x,
fours.
the 3x.
3x?
Would be 3.
And what else?
And the 4.
And the negative 4. So what are we left with?
3 over 8.
And what is 3h? What can we do with the h's?
1.
That becomes 1. So what are we left with? What is the limit of 3? we say the slope would be of that? 3. Didn't I tell you it was a long way to do something you already knew? But see, that works that way because what kind of a function did I give you to start with?
A regular,
A regular.
I mean, what do you do? It's not
What
a,
kind? What would that be the graph?
Linear.
of? Linear. It's a line. And what do we know about the slope of a line?
no.
Does it change?
No.
It's constant, right? Slope of the line stays the same.
But what if you have
Ah. Did you all hear what Angelica asked?
yeah.
She said, what if we have a parabola?
Except for all.
Parabola. Okay. That was the proper way, parabola. Okay. What if we have a parabola? Does the slope stay the same on a parabola like it does with a line? It changes, doesn't it? Well, let's see. Let us see. If I were to pick this point right here and draw a tangent line, is it the same as the slope of the tangent line right here? No, it's not the same. I wouldn't get a constant because the slope does not stay the same. I don't even know what that slope is, but I do know at least something about it. What kind of a slope would I have over here? It would be negative. I can tell what the slope is down here at this changeover point. What is the slope down here? 0, because what kind of a tangent line have I drawn right here?
A tangent line.
What kind of tangent line have I drawn right here? Thank you. That one was going down, so the slope is negative. Thank you. That's horizontal, and the slope of the horizontal line is 0. What about the tangent lines over here? What kind of slopes would they have?
Positive.
Positive. So it really depends upon where I am on the parabola to figure out what kind of tangent slope I have. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
So the derivative will give me a function that will help generate the slope anywhere on that parabola. But this time my answer will not be a constant because the slope is not constant, it changes. Are you with me? If you're with me, say yeah. Oh, that was pitiful.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That is sad.
It's just a fish fry.
You say fish fry. What did you say?
Fish died.
Oh, okay. We have to have a moment of silence.
We got it for real.
Okay, 2 moments of silence. Okay. All right.
Neptune has one.
Now, what kind of function have I drawn up there this time? Quadratic, and what do quadratics look like? Not a whole bunch of curves. Omar, sit up.
It's pretty much gonna be semicircle.
Not a semicircle. It has its name. She said the name earlier. Parabola. It's a parabola. It's a parabola. I wanted to use that example because that's what she said.
I was referring to it's always gonna look like.
Ah, I see.
It's this.
Exactly. Angelica says it's this. All right. So if I want to find f prime of x by the definition, and yes, you need to know that, by the definition.
So what if you just put the x squared on the outside, like go before x plus this is squared? Or would it just be?
He's already getting a head start, but I'm going to actually write it here to make sure we know what we're going to get. Jesus is saying, what's going to happen here?
It's squared.
4 and then quantity.
Quantity.
X plus h squared.
No.
Then
Minus 1.
minus 1. So are we ready to plug in then to our definition of derivative?
Yes. Of course.
Of course. I like that enthusiasm. Don't forget your limit. Because if you are not writing the limit, you are not generating the slope of a tangent line. What are you generating? The slope of a what? Secant line. So you must write that limit until you actually find the limit. All right, so what is going first?
The four quantitative,
What now?
Quantitative?
Quantity times the quantity.
Times the quantity. X plus H.
Square minus
Square minus 1.
Okay.
4.
Hold on.
Minus 4.
Minus what?
Parentheses.
Minus parentheses or the quantity.
4x squared minus 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, we go backwards.
Oh, yes.
What is
What else? Over H. Now. Yes.
The f of x, the f of x plus h always go first?
Yes. Yes. We're using our definition of derivative, and that's going to go first. Now, we need to clean this up, but I'm going to do a little sidebar because I don't want us to go to math jail, because almost every time I do this, students go to math jail. Yes, math jail.
What's that?
Because it's a very bad place that you go when you make very
Common mistake.
common math mistakes. Yes. Because the common mistake right here is, what is your first instinct right here when you have x plus h squared? What do you want to do?
X squared plus, it'll be x squared plus h2. Would it just be x squared?
Is it going to be this? Is this what you want?
No.
No.
That's math jail. Writing that down. You've got, Jesus was saying if we break it up into two separate quantities, because you got x plus h times x plus h.
That's math.
X times x is
Square.
No, it's not that good.
plus
xh
plus,
x squared.
okay, you're doing this one next?
Oh. hx.
hx, can I write in the same order to be okay? Because it's commutative multiplication.
And H squared.
Plus
This is
h
all like that,
squared.
ain't it?
Huh?
This is a real a squared plus bx squared. 2x plus b.
I'll tell you in just a second what's happening.
This is a real-
All right. So how many of the middle terms did we have?
X, H.
You had two of the same, right?
Plus 2xh.
2xh plus h squared. Okay? Are you with me there?
Yes.
All of that goes in for x plus h squared.
Don't forget the 4.
Well, I'm going to do that in the next step. So let's just put the 4 there, and then what do we get for the x plus h quantity squared? What do we get?
X squared
Uh-huh.
plus 2xh
Okay.
plus h squared.
And then
Minus.
minus 1. You want to go ahead and distribute here or no?
Yes.
So what do you get?
Negative 4 x squared plus 2.
Plus who?
1
Plus 1. All over
h.
h. Are we good? What do we do next?
We can distribute the 4.
Distribute the 4. Bring down the limit.
Don't forget.
Don't forget. So distribute the 4. What do we get?
4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared minus 4x squared.
Minus what? You skipped something.
Minus 4.
Minus
No, because that
one.
cancels
That
out.
cancels
It's gonna
out.
cancel
Oh, I didn't know y'all had already canceled out. Nobody told me you had canceled out up here.
Cancel it.
Okay, y'all got rid of that. So then what?
Minus 4x squared.
No, we ain't smart because then we would have already got the 4x squared.
All over h.
Is there anything else that goes away?
No.
The 4x.
Minus 4x squared.
4x squared. You got a positive 1. Minus
And
another
that's
1.
8x. So 8x plus 4h.
Let's see.
Why not? Oh,
Equals the limit
back.
as h approaches 0 of what? I'll wait till you catch up writing.
8x.
X plus 4.
8x what?
8. H
Plus
4x squared.
Let me let you catch up.
Yeah.
Doesn't one H cancel?
It's integral for me.
Now, careful, you don't want to divide out the h's when there's a plus or a minus here, because that's math jail. But what you want to be able to do, you do want to be able to get rid of that h, but you'll do it by factoring. Factor your numerator. What do you have in each term in the numerator? Here's a term, here's a term. You got an h. You also have a 4 that you could factor out, but when you factor out the constant, it's not really going to make it any easier. It's the h that we're trying to get rid of. So if we factor out the h in the numerator, I have an h in both terms, right?
Yeah.
So if I factor an h, what am I left with in this term?
8x
Plus, what about this term?
Half.
4 what? 4h, because you still have an h. You only factored out one of the h's. There were 2. All over what?
H.
Now that it is multiplied here at the top, we can get rid of that h because it's h over h, which is 1, right? So what are we left with?
8x plus 4h.
That you're taking the limit of.
0.
And if you let h be 0, what is your answer going to be?
8x.
8x, right?
No, this is D. What your D is your D.
Wait, what happened to the 4H again?
This is backwards.
I let h be 0.
Okay, so this is the rest of it.
I can, once I get rid of the h of the denominator, I can go ahead and let that h go to 0.
We're done.
We're done?
We're done.
Well, let's see. Now, it took a long time, but I'm telling you there's a quicker way. BC has not been paying attention to us, have they? BC students, I need a quick second. What is f prime of x here? Thank you. There is a quicker way. Go ahead, go back. Thank you. There is going to be a quicker way.
4 times 2.
See, I trying to figure out how they did it. How did they do it just by looking at it? You will get that method too shortly, but let's look at our note card real quickly here.
That sucks.
We were talking about that whenever we were in tutoring.
Ah,
Put something like that on the test.
yeah, it wasn't ready. They're not ready on that yet.
18.
Yeah.
It was C2 and I guessed it right.
Oh, you guessed it right.
Yes, I didn't get credit.
Okay, well, with this one, right? So,
But like,
I
right
mean,
here.
next to this is the,
So now we can look at note card number 9
And know what to do.
and know what it means. Let's look and see what it says. It says, analytically, that's all the mathematical jargon, the definition of the derivative of f at x is the difference quotient, and it's actually the limit of the difference quotient, right? How do you read this expression right here?
F prime of x.
F prime of x, and it stands for the derivative. And it equals to this expression right here. Now, if I had just given you that without the picture, you'd be like, where did the h come from, and why is that like that, and why f of x plus h? But basically, it's just the slope between 2 points. And they were fancy points that I created for you, right? It's a slope generator, but not just for any line. What kind of line is it generating the slope for? Bless you. What is it? Bless you.
Thank you.
The tangent line. Thank you. It is a tangent slope generator. It is a tangent slope generator. So that equation that we got, 8x, that can generate the slope anywhere on that parabola. Anywhere on that parabola. Okay? Let's look at what it says graphically. The derivative of a function at point P is the slope of the tangent line to the graph of f at that point. We did that, didn't we?
Don't remember.
Numerically, you don't remember? You don't remember the graph that I drew like last class period and class period before? And that's what we're talking about. Numerically, the derivative at a point is the limit of the slopes of the secant lines. That's what we did. Here, the only difference, the derivative at a point is what happens when you plug a number in there. Okay, and this will come up again on another note card, so we'll talk about that soon. Let's actually do something with that on an example problem.
-5.
Oh, we know the answer because our function is what kind of a function? Linear, and the slope of a linear function is negative. This all linear functions -5?
Oh, the M.
It's the m, it's constant. That's what I'm looking for. It doesn't change. So it's going to be a constant number. So then, if you know that, what would be the answer of f prime of 2?
10, -6, -6.
I didn't say of f of 2. I said f prime of 2. What does f prime represent? The derivative, which represents the slope generated. So what would the slope be at 2? That's basically what it's asking. What would the slope be at 2?
Oh, hold on.
You're thinking way too hard.
-5.
Thank you, -5.
Okay,
If it was f prime of 7, what would the answer be? If it were f prime of the number e, what would it be? -5, because the slope of a line never changes. So you already know the answer, but it says, how are we going to find it? To use definition of the derivative. So guess which way we have to do it? The long way. Not the hard way. It's just long, but it's not hard. What's the definition of the derivative? Read it off to me. Limit as f prime of x equals h approaches 0 of.
-5x plus 4.
I want the definition of the formula first.
Oh.
F of
-5.
H plus
h, what is it?
plus H.
X plus h
Minus f of x.
all over.
H.
All right. So for this problem, let's go ahead and work out f of x plus h. What is it going to be?
-5
-5
x plus 8.
times the quantity x plus h
Plus 4.
plus 4. All right, so we're ready to find f prime of x. F prime of x equals, how do I start it?
Limit of x approaches 0.
Thank you. He gave me the limit first. As h approaches 0 of, what goes first?
-5.
5x plus 8.
Okay,
Minus 4.
okay.
Minus 5x. -5x. Minus quantity of -5x.
Thank you for telling me the quantity, because if we don't use those parentheses, we won't be able to distribute over h. Clean it up. What do we have?
Limit. -5x plus, -5h.
Wait, -5x over 8.
Huh?
Excuse me?
Close parentheses.
I don't even have parentheses anymore. We distribute it.
Oh, yeah,
I'm here now.
okay. -4.
Positive 5x.
Positive 5x minus 4 over 8.
What can we get rid of?
The -4x and -5x.
So what are we left with then?
5h over 8.
The limit as h approaches 0, 5h over h. So what do I get for my answer?
5, -5.
Oh, I left my negative off. -5, which we knew the answer already.
Wait, -4.
Wouldn't it be a -4 and a +4?
Yes, cancel it.
Where did I miss it?
Because they're both negative.
-4.
This is the one right there.
Oh,
That one's plus. I went to math jail. Thank you. I went to math jail. I need someone to bail me out. I owe you, I owe you. Thank you for finding that error. Any questions about that one? Now, if we were doing f prime of 2 by definition, f prime of 2, that simply means all of the x's will turn into what?
2s.
2's, right? Are you with me?
All of the what?
All of the x's. Instead of f prime of x, it says f prime of 2. In other words,
Find a number. Well,
you should be left with a number, right?
Yeah.
So,
It'll be negative
I'm going to
5
cheat a little bit here.
to
It's
quantitative 2
negative 6.
plus a.
Instead of x's here, all I need is a what?
Oh,
Two.
2.
A 2.
Yeah, negative 5 quantitative 2 plus a plus 4 minus quantitative.
She says, you're going to get the same thing. Well, we already discussed we're going to get the same thing. We know that, huh? But only because it's linear. So what do I get here when we distribute?
Negative 10.
Negative 10
Negative 5h.
minus 5h
Plus 4.
plus 4
Positive 10.
plus 10
Plus 4. Over h.
plus 4
Minus 1.
minus 4.
Oh, I mean minus 4.
All over. What goes away?
Negative 10.
4 and
negative 10.
then negative 10.
And so basically I could have left the thing I had up here, huh? Limit as h goes to 0 of negative 5h over h. And we expect that to be the answer.
What did you do? He's lost,
No, I'm not lost,
but he messed up.
yeah. Right, twenty numbers.
That's for part B.
We got it.
Got it?
I got it.
Look at the second one. Does it look like that could be the definition of the derivative already worked out?
Yes.
Or already plugged in? What was the original function?
We don't know.
Negative
No, what would have been f of
It's
x?
right here.
squared is 2.
Six x squared plus minus
Minus 2x plus 7.
There it is. We piece it all together. Eventually I think we'll say it all. Let me see. Well, if this were the derivative, if this is f prime, I was asking what was f of x?
6x squared
We'll
minus
just spin it
2x
back
plus
there.
7.
Yeah, now be careful when you just say it's the back part, because it's easy to see when you put minus and put the quantity there. Sometimes they will have dropped this and distributed that already, and you have to be careful of that. Sometimes it's easier to look at the front part and just replace the x plus h's with an x to keep from making that mistake. All right, so if that is the case, let's go ahead and evaluate this. All right. We've got a 6, the long way. You don't know the short way yet, so you have no choice. It's not linear, is it?
No.
So you're not going to get a constant for your answer. You're going to have something with x in it. You want to know the answer?
Hold on.
We can get BC to tell you the answer real quickly. There's your function. Hold on, I left off. BC, what is the answer we're looking for f prime of x? All right, that's the answer we're looking for. All right, you ready to go? You mad because you're going to get it too. You're going to get it as well.
All
right.
did all this work.
X plus h quantity squared. Didn't we learn what that was already?
Yes,
Plus
6.
I haven't distributed it yet.
Oh, but we know it's.
We know.
Oh!
Well, can you at least give me the x plus h squared part first, please?
Oh, that'll be x squared plus x.
2xh plus h squared.
Thank you.
Well,
What? Minus what? Mister.
2x plus 2h. I'm
What?
going too fast.
That's what I'm saying.
Minus 2x what?
I'm going too fast. Minus 2x plus 2h
So you don't want me to distribute?
plus 7.
Hold on.
So you don't want me to distribute? Because I was distributing.
Yeah.
It's good we're taking notes.
Plus
So when it be
negative 2h
plus
plus 7 minus 6x squared plus 2x minus 7. That's a lot of work.
All over.
H.
Now we need one more step, because we gotta distribute our what? What do you have to distribute? We did all that.
The 6.
The 6. When you distribute the 6 on this step, what am I going to have?
6x squared plus 12xh plus 6h squared minus 2x minus 2h plus 7 minus 6x squared plus 2h minus 7.
All over.
H.
What goes away?
6x squared
Then
7,
7,
2x,
2x. And that's it.
That's it?
Yep.
yes, and 12xh plus 36h squared minus 2x.
Now, if this works out right, everything that's left should have an H in it. Is that true?
yes.
All right, we want that to be the case so that we can factor out the H.
We don't have one too.
He's not.
What's the matter? You still have a 2, honey?
2x.
What happened?
Wait, never mind. I forgot
Okay.
to put the X's.
Ah.
You're in jail.
Wait, but that's.
We gotta find your mistake. This is what's left. Do we have an H and everything left in the numerator? Yes.
Yes.
So can we factor an H from each term left in the numerator?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I factor an H to the front, what's left from this term?
12x
Plus what?
Plus
6 squared.
6.
6 who? That's 6H squared. We
6H.
factor out of it. 6H,
Minus 2.
minus 2 all over. Now, can we get rid of that pesky H in the denominator?
Yes.
So now, go ahead and take the limit and let H go to 0. If H goes to 0, what are you left with?
12x minus 2.
Well, isn't that what they told you?
No.
You see how they got it? You see the rule?
What's the rule?
What's the rule?
It has something to do with the exercise. You just multiply. Well, I don't know the terms of the same day. We multiply the six with the
That term right there?
yeah
Exponent.
exponent.
With the,
Okay.
Six,
with the
and that's how they got the
coefficient?
12. And then they took the 2, and since it's going to be a 1 there,
So what happened to the exponents?
it is multiplied with the
That's the first part, but what we're having to the square here?
Oh, they took it off.
They just took it off?
They took it off.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Does everybody have this part? Can I erase this?
I
No.
mean, I get how they get it, I just don't know how to explain it.
Okay. You're halfway there. It looks like that because we keep doing squares. There's one extra piece you need to see, so I'm going to do one with a higher power so you can see what's going on. Okay.
What was the number we should have ended with?
You messed up.
No, X plus 6H squared minus 2.
No. Yeah.
That's right. And then?
Over 8. And then you factor. And then
I'm
count.
still far from you. Well,
Now, would you like to do that one the long way? Don't write it down. Don't write it down. We're not ready yet. That one the long way would take a long time. Because we got 5x to the 4th. And when you put x plus h's in all those places, that's going to be an ugly monstrosity that's not enough work for me to do that on.
No, it's air.
But, BC, sorry to bother you one more time. Last time. What is the derivative here?
28x cubed minus 18x squared.
You said minus?
Plus 18
They just multiplied
minus
it.
12.
That's what I got.
They just multiplied
That's what I got.
Okay, so, well, what was the last part you didn't tell me about the exponent?
Oh, basically you just take off 1x.
take off 1. Take off 1 from the exponent. So basically, they multiplied the exponent and then subtract 1 from the exponent. Multiply by the exponent, subtract 1 from the exponent. What was the exponent here? 1 times 12 is 12. What happens when you subtract 1 from the exponent here? You get x to the what?
0.
And what's any number to the 0 other than that's 1? So that's why you didn't see the x anymore. And the derivative of a constant is 0, because the slope of a constant function, which is a horizontal line, is 0.
Make some less inside B. So,
That's the answer. They're just making the
We were actually holding this.
Can you repeat that? I was still behind.
We're kind of foreshadowing our no card.
You can't repeat that though, just a little bit. Just,
Okay, I was still on the last column.
oh well. Even on here.
Yeah, I opened the door. I think it's light outside.
You think it's what I thought?
It's like the nesting thing is light.
Oh, okay.
what about the negative? What about the negative?
It's constant. The constant should always go away.
Eligibility forms.
Huh?
Let's talk about eligibility forms.
For what?
For athletics, extra free year, softball, track.
I don't know why they got to name out every extra. You get one more?
We don't get a lot more because that's actually a new no card. Before we do the new stuff though,
Your group, writing for newsletter and full grade magazine, board program, my parents district, and also supervising me as ambassador of this Brown community. We have not put together a chicken club. We are working on that. The debate speech club is across the two. The drama club is part of how to assign for maintenance one of the nine people. Student council, we got to work on the council. 17 is still working on this education. Also, students, I know you're going to come here, you're going to see the detail. College, give us time to do
So
it.
that's gonna be 2 extra square question.
Be patient with conversation. At this time, I will close out this agreement and make a motion to approve the law. Thank you.
Zero.
if that's f of x, I'm going to get 0 when I put a 0 in.
1.
I get a 1. So f of x, I just put the function there. That's what it is. Minus f of 0. What is f of 0? That is just 1 all over x squared. What can we get rid of?
We're gonna have 2 at the end, right?
We will have 2 at the end. You're a step ahead of me.
We
But
get rid of the 1.
we get rid of the 1s, and we have the limit as x goes to 0 of 2x squared over x squared. We are left with 2. That was an AP question. Yes, it was. Anything with asterisks were actually on the AP test.
Slow it down a little.
Okay. All right, this says f of x. F of x was given, so I put that there. Minus, minus. F of 0, I worked f of 0 up here. When you plug in a 0, you get 0 plus 1 is 1. So f of 0 is 1. Huh?
This is one of our questions on our test.
What was it?
For the same
That was something kind of similar.
f of x minus f of 0 over x squared.
Over x squared?
X.
I think it was over x minus 1. You had f of x
Yeah,
minus f of 1 over x minus 1. I know I typed it.
Yeah.
So, from there you just clean up the algebra and you end up with 2 for your limit. Let's look at the last one. All right. Which one of these is equal to f prime of 4? In other words, which one of those is the definition of the derivative in its proper format? You had different versions. You could look at your notes if you need to. Are you sure?
It's the first one.
Okay, you said the second, you said the first. I need you to verify or tell me why.
Because it's not h plus x, x plus h.
X plus h. Could it be h plus x? Would that matter?
No, this is the first one because 4 is taking the place of x.
Of x.
X is.
I like the way he explained it. It's this one, 4 takes the place of the x. The order of x and h won't matter because addition is commutative. So I can have x plus h or h plus x. However, that takes the place of the x's, so that one is the correct one.
That's what I was referring to.
Ah, that's what Jesus was referring to. All right, let's see what we have.
Class notes.
It says class notes.
Evaluate. That one. That one.
Hmm?
That one.
What about it?
We're on that one.
That's nice.
No, we're actually not. It would be next, but that's not where I'm going just yet. I want to go in. Yes, I want to go to note card number 10, so we can get a little heads up. Stay in the order.
It's like that one. I don't know where
Have y'all graded the other part yet? Have y'all graded the other part yet? The multiple choice?
No.
You want to do it for me before you
But
leave?
that's the only I see
Well,
that.
great.
I didn't even know it until
You know this one.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's look at our derivative rules. You've already somewhat figured them out, right? Stay with me. This says, what on earth is this, first of all? I have no idea. Well, let's go back for a second and look at some notations. On the back of that note card, I need you to write this down.
page before it.
Or the page before it. But that may be an assignment you turn in, that's why it's in there.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Or another sheet of paper.
Yes, that
right.
too.
Your own sheet of paper.
Thank you. That's what
No, it's not key. Nobody home. Nobody home.
Immigration. What is immigration cases?
Yeah, okay. You understand?
Yeah.
Nice.
So what they don't do, to the school like that, put in the school, you know?
Oh yeah, did y'all hear about that in Alabama? No, for real.
Yes, I heard it.
Yeah, but, Obama, he did, but he said he
You
wasn't.
know how we have Mexicans here that are like Mexicans,
I am.
and the government protects them. Well,
Like
the
I
law
am.
in Alabama, the immigration won't pick them up.
People.
It's for new enrollees if you're already a student enrolled.
Oh yeah,
It's
but
not
that'd be
big.
next
be for next year for new enrollees.
But that's only added.
So little kids can't enroll? Will they like that legal?
As it stands currently.
Well, they will, but the government can't, tuition people. The school here in Texas takes education. Yeah, I was like,
All right. Folks, these are different ways you may see the derivative. This f prime of x is not the only way derivatives are notated. Just like sometimes different things have different names, but it means the same thing. So you may see the derivative written in different ways, and you need to be able to recognize it as such, no matter what notation is used. Okay?
So on the first, on part one, there'll be derivative of C with respect to x.
With respect to x. And basically that's telling me what the independent variable is. When you see that with respect to x, that's telling me x is the independent variable. Just like when you see f of x, you know x is your independent variable, and that's what it's notating. So again, this is just different notation. I don't want you to be thrown off when you see it different, like, what is that? It's still representing the derivative. Okay. Still representing the derivative. Now, the math room is people. Okay. I guess because it's the end of the day. I got about 7 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Can I erase?
Is ketchup a smoothie?
Is ketchup a smoothie?
Yeah, because you said tomato is the fruit, so they make it ketchup a smoothie.
I don't think so. But that's an
I think
interesting
it makes
question.
perfect logic to me. It does sound like perfect logic to me.
Oh, it's a paste.
She said a paste.
If I was to mix up a fruit, and to put it in a cup, it would be a smoothie.
But it's not just mixed with that. It
Yeah, it's
typically
ice.
has, isn't it like some kind of ice
Yeah,
cream as
it's
well?
ice juice. You'll put juice in ketchup.
So ketchup is a juice. So ketchup is a juice, but ketchup is not a paste.
Ketchup.
Okay, so notations for the derivative. Do we have this?
In math,
Jordan, you have yours?
so Adam,
All right. The reason I jumped to this page is because I want you to know today the same thing that the BC students were doing, that you've already kind of looked at. This means the derivative of a constant with respect to x. So, for instance, I'm going to use the old notation that we may be used to. I'm going to say y equals some constant 8. If I want the derivative, what would the answer be?
1.
zero.
Oh, wait, yeah, I know why.
Well, let's think about it. What does y equal 8 look like?
A straight line.
Straight line.
All lines are straight. Let's be more specific.
Or
A horizontal line. Now, the derivative is a slope generator. I don't care where I generate the slope. What is the slope of a horizontal line? It is 0. That is why the slope of a constant function is 0, because it's a horizontal line. All right? Now, the power rule. That's what you were doing just a second ago. Let's say I have x to the 7th power. If I want the derivative, or the slope generator for my tangent line, what do I do with that power?
-1.
I will subtract 1. But what do I do with it first?
Multiply by 1. So
Multiply by the coefficient in front. So 7x to the what power?
6.
6. The constant multiple, that applies to when there is a constant already there. And we already did that. That just means you simply multiply by the constant that's already there. So what am I going to get?
20x
To the 4.
4th power.
Are we good there?
Yes.
The sum and difference applies when I have a string of terms together, which I've already shown you. Suppose I have y equals 7x to the third plus 2x squared minus 8x plus 4. I'm going to use different notation this time. I'm going to say dy dx, which means the derivative of y with respect to x, all the same. I'm just using different notation, right? What is this derivative?
21x squared
21x squared
plus 4x
plus 4x
minus 8.
Minus 8.
minus 8. Minus 8. It's a 1 understood to be here. 1 times 8 is 8. Now, we're going to do more with that, but not today. I'm going to give you your homework.
Homework, nonsense.
Some of that stuff we skipped.